Some of you already know this young gentleman sitting to my right. I knew him while he was still out in the cabbage patch because me and his daddy kind of grew up together. I'm a little older than his daddy, but we'll tell you that. This young gentleman, his name is Jim Snowden. He is the head of our Knox County Public Works and Engineering. Got a pothole in your road, and he's the guy that sees and gets it fixed. If you've got snowbound on your road, he's the guy that sends the truck out and plows your road for you. So I asked him to come tonight to bring to this group because you've been seeing a lot about some of the changes that are being made in our infrastructure around. He's going to update us on some of these changes that will be coming to us in the 8th and 9th district. So without further ado, Jim Snowden.
Appreciate it, Mike. Appreciate the opportunity. Can everybody hear me okay? I talk loud because I can't hear. So, but I've made about 30 of those. There may not be enough. You've got a great crowd here. But if somebody, I do have a bunch of business cards too. So if somebody doesn't get one of those, let me know. I can get some business cards and I can send it to you. That's just a summary of what Mike was saying. This is just the projects that we have that we're using your all's tax dollars to improve the infrastructure in your community. We also, I will say to Mike's point, we do highway maintenance, we do road construction, we do solid waste, which is primarily convenience centers. We operate 7 of those throughout the county. A couple of your alls do, actually 2 in your district, one on Johnsonville and one Carter. We also do, one of our favorite things is the regulation of land development. That's always fun because that's always hard to do, but we do that also. So that's primarily in a nutshell what engineering does. We have about 200 employees, and we're tasked with managing somewhere in the neighborhood of about $30 million annually, including a capital and operating budget. So what that sheet that I handed out, some of you may not have it yet, is we have 7 or 8 projects in this community. Obviously, a lot of projects you see ongoing are state projects. You know, those are things that TDOT does that are very, very large in scale, like Alcoa Highway and things like that. So we don't necessarily participate in those other than just being good partners with the state. But now we do a lot of projects and I'm kind of sampling here. The first one we have, and I do have plans, so if anybody has any real specific questions, you can look at those or I can email them later on. We have Two-Day Road, which is off of Milltown High. There was a bridge out there that accessed the back portion of the roadway, and I hear potatoes frying, so I will be as brief as possible because I know I'm standing between everybody and their dinner, so I'll be brief. But anyway, Two-Day Road is a road that the back portion of it, there was a bridge there that was very narrow and in very poor shape that even emergency vehicles couldn't access the back side of it. There was about 8 or 10 residents there that were really in a bad situation. So worked with Commissioner Beeler, the 8th District Commissioner, and we're replacing that structure, realigning the road, and allowing those folks to have a lot better access, because right now, really, a fire truck couldn't get across that structure. So that was a project that we're investing about $500,000 in, be complete this summer. The next is actually another bridge. It's a state aid bridge. We're using state funding on this. The state has a program called State Aid Bridge that they go out every 2 years and look at every bridge in Knox County. And, well, actually every bridge in the state for that matter. And they grade it, essentially, you know, grade score. This bridge is in bad conditions on Russell Road, right near Smith School. We will have to close the road to repair it because it's going to essentially take off the existing structure and put a new structure back down. That's about $500,000, be complete later this year. There will be a detour, but thankfully the detour is relatively short. But once again, using state dollars at a 98.2 percentage. So of that $450,000, we're only paying, what is 2% of that? Probably about $9,000. So a lot of good leverage there, state dollars. Project that Commissioner Daly was advocating for, if you notice on Tipton Station, as you walk down the greenway, coming from the high school to the elementary school, you got to go around the school. There's a missing gap there. So this sidewalk, it's about $224,000. That actually includes some flashers that are going to be installed on existing crossings to make them more safe. But we're going to be able to extend that sidewalk down, and you'll be able to walk right down through in front of Bonnie Kane Elementary School and stay on the greenway rather than having to go around the school. And then obviously the at-grade crossings that are at, I guess, what is that? I can't think of the name of that subdivision. Twin Creek? You know?
You got 23 bridges there.
Yes, those three will all have activated flashers. So if you're trying to cross the road now, all you have is signs and markings. These will have push buttons. You'll push the button, the flasher will come on and give the pedestrian a little more safe crossing activity. That will obviously be, that's pretty short term. That'll be done right about the time school lets out. Actually, just right down the street here is a partnership with us with the Parks Department. The Veterans Memorial Park that everybody knows about. My department's doing great work there. That's something we have guys in-house that can operate that machinery. So we're going to do that work with in partnership with Legacy Parks to save them money. The mayor is very supportive of that.
I saw they started last week.
They did. So that's our crews doing that. In addition to that, we're also going to have to build turn lane there. Because obviously, if you're going to build a park, you've got to have good access. Got to have a left turn lane in because the state, required that. So my folks, later on this year, will be building a turn lane. It'll be very short because we got the bridge right there. We got to tie down really, really quickly. But we estimate that to be about $250,000. It's in the budget, and we'll build a turn lane so folks can get safely in and out of that park once it does open late this fall. Bigger project in the Carter community. You've probably seen it if you drive out through Carter, National Highway, Straw Plains. A lot of activity out there. That's $1.5 million, a big sidewalk project. You've got the elementary school on Straw Plains. You have the high school over on Cartersville Road. You've got the park up there that has a library and a senior center. But none of it's connected with pedestrian facilities. So all that, we're going to build sidewalks all along those routes. To where if you're at the elementary school, you can walk safely to the library or the middle, or the middle and high school. There's once again just probably I think a little over a mile of sidewalk that's to be added, as well as modifications to the traffic signals to allow folks to cross those facilities safely. That will be finished up this year as well. Up on Washington Pike, and this is way out on Washington Pike. Anybody's familiar with Childs Road?
Yeah.
There's a bridge up there. If you'll notice, if you're going, I guess, towards town, westbound, the right side of the road keeps falling off. Well, we tried to patch it, The culvert under there is just in very bad shape. So we've acquired some right-of-way there and going to have closed the road, which is going to be a problem because the detour on Washington Pike is never a fun thing. But we are going to build a brand new culvert in there, much wider culvert to allow for shoulders, because right now you have no shoulder up there. So that is something that we're going to go to construction later this year and hopefully complete this year. And hopefully try to do some of it during summer when school's out so the traffic volume's a little lower. This is one on Roberts Pike. Anybody that's familiar with Roberts Pike knows high volumes and high speeds on that road. Yeah. And both intersections of Roberts Road, Shoptown's on the other side, and then the other direction is at Mine Road. There's been a lot of fatalities there, so we did get a state safety grant, and we will be installing traffic signals at both those locations. We've already done some work in the medians to modify the turn lanes in the interior of the road. We're going to have to put some right turn lanes, deceleration lanes, especially on Roberts Road coming from Range County. But that's something that we're working with the state on. Once again, leveraging state dollars, and going to put 2 signals up at both those locations, which have been really, really problematic because if you have an accident there, there's high speed, a lot of severe injuries, so we're excited about that. Just right down the road here, Wayland Road and Straw Plains. If anybody knows, they built new apartment or some kind of townhouses there. They built a driveway right across from the Wayland Road, downgrade, been some rear-end accidents there. The developer partnered with us, and we're going to build a left turn lane onto Wayland Road, as well as have a short turn lane into his development. That's what he's paying for, so that we can hopefully prevent some of those left turn accidents. A lot of speed, A lot of opportunities. That's in the budget for consideration in the fiscal year budget that's going to be discussed here in the upcoming months. Hopefully that's approved and we can implement that project. Last but certainly not least is probably one of the bigger projects that you may have heard about in our community is the Give Pedestrian Bridge up on Tazewell Pike. We did get a state grant for that. As you noticed, Commissioner Daly and others were very supportive, and we got a bridge over Tiffin Station for the South Doyle School, and this is very much a similar situation. You have schools on both sides of the road. On this case, a state highway that's highly trafficked, a lot of high-speed traffic. So that's state grant, so it takes a little longer to navigate that process, but we are in the state's reviewing our plans now. We hope to get started early next year, and that bridge will, like I said, will go over Tazewell Pike, connect in with the sidewalks that we already have on the west side of the road, and allow pedestrians to safely cross the road on Tazewell Pike, which is just very, very dangerous to try to cross that grade. And we did, like I said, did get a state grant for that. We're only having to put about $500,000 of that in, county money. The state's putting in over $1.5 million. So very good bang for the buck project there. So that's just a sampling of the projects, and these are all will be complete or started within the next 12 to 18 months. So you can see there's a lot of activity occurring in the 8th and 9th district. We try to be very selective in our projects. We know funding's tied everywhere. Our capital budget's about $20 million annually, so we got to be very strategic in where we place these improvements. We're always looking for areas where the crashes and volumes and things like that are being problems. So with that, I'll certainly entertain any questions, but certainly appreciate your all's time and attention. Yes, ma'am.
Can I put a bug in your ear? I blew a tire last week, and I know it happened in one of two spots.
Okay.
So around Fort Sanders Hospital, they've been redoing the water lines, and the roads are a wreck. Like, I mean, really a wreck. And as far as the ease of just the patients and their families coming back and forth, the employees and the ambulances, it would seem like the hospitals would be a place where we would really focus on the roads. Sure. And I'd like to put a bug in for there. The second spot where I could have blown my tire was going down Old Merrill Pike near the Carpers, that area before you get to Chapman, and those roads are a wreck. So, on behalf of folks in the South Knoxville downtown area, thank you for looking into it.
I will, and actually, I'll let you know, both those are city streets, thankfully. So the county ain't responsible for those, but my counterpart in the city, Chad Wade, and I will call him in the morning and I'll report these to him, and hopefully they can get those repaired as quickly as possible.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, in defense of that, a lot of the problems that she's mentioned are caused by utility construction or restructure or destruction.
All the above.
And according to what I was told by the legal department, part of that is KUB's responsibility. You tear it up, you're supposed to fix it back.
Right.
So we need to be jumping on the KUB.
I talked to Jim's wife, Amanda, she works for TDOT. Merrill Pike is supposed to be redone, repaved this year. The truck that ran into the bridge, I don't know why, you can find out. It's been now 2026 where they're going to redo. But center pictures, it needs to be skimmed over and repaved, and they did fix the bridges and all that. But I went through there yesterday. So Merrill Pike is on the schedule. Unfortunately, it got kicked out for 2 years. But I don't understand why they're not going to redo it just because of the underpass there.
I don't know, but I'll find out. I'll ask him, follow up with what you know. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, did you have a question? Oh, I'm sorry. I saw you. Yes, sir.
My question is do you have a number that we can call without having, like 911?
I do. You can write this number down. This number is, we've got a man in that phone booth right now, 24/7, 365. It's 215-5800. And that, or I'll let Commissioner Davis speak to one of our new applications.
Everybody that loves apps, you need to go to Google, download C-Click Fix, Knox County.
With fix?
C-Click Fix. You go in and you see a pothole, you'll go to a new request, you'll enter the address. The great thing about it is it generates a work order. And you can follow that work order. Go to the App Store, C-Click Fix, and it'll come up with Knox County, just like that. City's got one too.
But sir, if you, like I said, that's great, but if somebody has, like if there's a tree down or something, you know, the traffic light off, call our office immediately. We have people on call 24/7. We want to get those things.
Write that number down where I can get it
I'm
later.
gonna put the numbers in the minutes.
Good.
My second course.
Yes, sir.
I forgot. We're getting close to eating. I believe after I eat, I can remember better. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
I guess it's the state that has an attachment that goes on, it was on van, what I saw.
Yes.
Where they were taking like Sonic, images of the road, do you use some?
We do. And that's how we select our repaving. Because we maintain about 1,800 centerline miles of road. We get the budget to pave somewhere in the neighborhood of 70. So we have to be very strategic in where we put that money. Because we want to put it where it's utilized and most needed. We do exactly that. We have what's called a pavement management system. We get these people to come and they look at our roadways and apply what's called an OCI, an overall condition index. And that's a numeric score. 0 to 100, 100 being bad, 100 being good, 0 being terrible. And we try to obviously pave the roads that are in most dire need, and that is that's the process in which we gather that information.
Is it pretty effective?
It is because it also allows us because the degradation curve of a road, I don't want to get too deep in here, but at a certain point, if you can catch a road before it gets beyond a certain point of degradation, you can improve the OCI and you can be more cost effective with the money you have. So we also do some other treatments to try to extend the life of the road so that we don't have to put that most expensive treatment on it, which is the resurface. So, which, as everybody knows, we repaved Thornborough last year. Lord knows it needed it. So we paved it all the way out the county line.
I'm saying it's doing spot repayment.
Yes. Yes, and we do that. We did a lot of this on this short section of Old Thorngrove over here. We do that in-house. We have a paving crew that paves every day to try to fix those really isolated areas to try to, at least get us through that, that point to where, folks aren't having issues. Roberts Road? Okay. Yeah, and was there a question? Yes, ma'am.
So, I have a question. Food City, here in South Knox, right off Mountain Road.
Yes.
There is a road that comes off Mountain Road that goes into Food City.
Yes.
There is a huge, huge pothole there. Who is responsible for that? Is it Food City or is it the county?
It's probably the developer, because, and I know exactly where you're at. It's
getting bigger and bigger. It's getting harder to get around.
I've seen it. I'll make a note. It may still be under the control of the developer, because I don't believe that ever.
It needs to be fixed because a car almost jumped into it today. It's sick.
But I will check on that, man, and I'll let them know whomever's the appropriate party.
Because that hole is getting bigger and bigger every rain car there.
Yeah. And it's funny.
Don't drive through there with a smart car.
Those
Oh,
are,
and a little smart car almost did it today.
Who's next month, open that thing?
and the roads in there, actually, that main road, that's City Street.
I figured.
So it's, it's strip annexation from years ago. That's kind of one of those things. But yeah, if you're not sure where the road, whose it is, call us. We'll figure it out for you and report it to the right people so you guys don't have that trouble. But appreciate you. Like I said, my job is to be a public servant. We'll do anything we can to help you. I've got some business cards here I'll leave with Mike. And if anybody wants to give me a shout about anything, shoot me an email. We'll be happy to help you if we can. These are plans. You
storm, it ate up what, almost $900,000 of paving budget and all that, and these guys stretched the money. So that storm not only affected everybody, it affected roads budget big time.
It resulted in less roads being paved.
Exactly.
So unfortunately. Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
That phone number again, 215 what?
215-5800. Call anytime. We got a man there waiting. So,
Also, Jim has some, plans here for culvert repair and replacement, construction, whatnot. If you wanna look at one of these copies, if it's in your area, you need one, there's maybe 8 or 10 copies here, so.
Yeah.
If you wanna look at those after, feel free to come up, peruse through them, they're all the same, right?
yeah, well,
That's a whole
no,
package.
each one's a different project. And I printed those, and I've got a 16-year-old daughter at home right now by herself because my wife's in Nashville. So I've got to go home before she burns the house down. And I do appreciate your help.